Savita Raj Hiremath is a veteran in Indian film industry, media and advertising. She has won many advertising awards for her advertising agency Usha Communication. She is well known for her creative marketing and social campaigns. Savita Raj has produced critically acclaimed and popular films Khosla Ghosla and Jhund under the banner of Tandav Films. She is the recipient of the most prestigious National Film Award. Savita Raj's work has received national and international acclaim, from Cannes to Karachi Film Festival. Welcome to this episode of Chaibrary. We are thrilled and absolutely delighted to have with us Ms. Savita Raj Hiremath. Welcome, Ms. Savita Raj.
Thanks. Thank you for inviting me, and you have really made me very, what should I say? It is amazing to have this kind of introduction.
So, coming from the advertising background and being the co founder of Usha Communications, and you won so many awards for this, you decided to make the transition into Tandav Films. What exactly was your thought process behind it? And after getting so many accolades, why did you decide to make this transition?
Yeah, good question in the sense that, um, I somehow wanted to expand in creative world beyond advertising. Advertising is still a limiting factor for any creative people to give their 100% because you're working within the brief of clients, and we tried to do whatever best we could even do there as a creative, and tried to make brands, and even our agency was the one who used media buying so creatively, and giving a lot of innovations in media for her client. So I wanted to. I think we built up this agency for 10 years, and then we were on the 15 years that point of time, and we were on the peak of advertising. So when you're on the peak, you feel that you want to do something more and beyond, And some people inspired me also. One of them was Pradeep Saka, who actually went to Bombay to explore. And one of my writer from my own agency, we used to work together with him, also went to Bombay and wrote company with Ram Gopal Verma. So that was making me restless to, grow beyond just working on ads. And then agency was on the self mode, so people were there to handle that work. And I thought of expanding the horizon, because ultimately it's a creative world. So it was not that different. At that point of time, I thought so. That was a thought process beyond. Besides advertising, we explored. And best thing is I had a full support of my partner, husband. So he never stopped me dreaming. So I kept, visualizing bigger things in my life.
Not just visualizing, but completely successfully executing so many amazingly wonderful projects. So, Khosla Ka Ghosla is an iconic movie. How did this idea come to you?
As I said, I told my writer, like we were so used to giving briefs, and this film was very scientifically made with research and brief. I told him that I want a film which 8 and 80 years can watch it together. So that's my one-line brief to you. So I was always fascinated to see, Rajnikanda and those kind of films and stuff like that. So which were always, we still love those kind of films, and slice of life. And that was a brief. And then this incident of land grabbing happened in his own family. So he said that point of time they were kids when this happened to the family, and they wanted to do something, give it back, and they could not, being a middle class. They surrendered almost. So in the film, he all imagined that, how they, if you see the second half, which is very unreal, for many people to watch. It's just a winning streak of middle class, how they can take revenge with the situation on their own and not depend on the society. And within the film also, if you see the various layers which we have shown, like when there are two brothers in the family, one is always more educated and the other is more attached to the family also at the same time, and the one who is more educated is detached and wants to fly high, all these things have come after researching. A lot of research has gone into that. And when we always say that, generation gap is between old people, but after research, it showed very clearly that today fathers are the one who want to be close to their children. And they are the one, he was the one, Khosla sir was offering drink to his son, and he said, I don't drink, so although he said, I know you drink, but you don't want to drink with me, right? So who is creating a generation gap? The youth, not the elders. So very clearly there were very layers in the film, had said many things very silently, and that's how it happened, because we all are from middle class and grown in Delhi. So the culture was all ours, and we all have seen those fathers doing gargles in the morning, early morning, and even getting restless
Yes.
after eating rajma chawal. So all that were slice of life, and the way we observe the people and the way we put the things across to people. It was basically a mirror to many middle class, and that's what they enjoyed, and that's what they liked about the film, I think.
Yes, and I think what you're saying about the drink thing, it is so true, and not many of us would think that this could be this reversal is what is
Yes.
actually the reality.
Yeah.
It was, and I think what you did with your research was put it in such a beautifully, evocatively emotional manner that the viewers, they just absolutely, clicked with it.
If you see the one
Yes.
of the scene where the Khosla Sahib is making drink and he's telling his daughter, "Jao jao pakode shakode le aao." So she's saying, "Why can't I take a drink? If you are drinking, why can't I?" She makes a sound and goes. So basically, he is not saying loudly also no, because he knows that daughters have to be protected in their own way, but then he's not been able to see eye and eye also to daughter and say, yes, come and have a drink with me. So there were many small sensitive layers which were there in the film than just a one plot.
Yes, and you picked up a very, very interesting topic, the idea of land grabbing and how a middle class family they want a house of their own, and how this kind of situation and problem can arise. So it was,
I am surprised, after that, I don't know how many times, wherever the land grabbing happens in the country, people say, Khosla, Khosla ho gaya. I mean, which is, that's the sign of, yes, that, you feel, yeah, it's reached to the level of surf excel. It's not just a washing powder, it's called surf. Every washing powder was a blue powder is surf, So I'm glad the film has reached to that kind of a mindset now.
it is an absolutely unforgettable movie, and there were so many things about this movie. But coming back to it, you completed production of this movie in 2002, but it took a long
No,
time
no,
to, in 2004.
started writing actually.
Okay.
And I think four is when we finished the film. And after that, I never wanted any investment from the industry or anything. We went to Bombay with a ready film, but I was told, "Oh, kya bana diya aapne?" And you just leave it. We'll see. There's no item number. There's no, heroine kind of a song, hero heroine romance happening or anything like that. So, what is the kind of poster you're looking for? And you think Baman and Anupam को देख के लोग फिल्म देखने थोड़ी आएंगे. They are the hero of your film, so the poster will be on them. So you think people will come and watch the film and spend money? Are you crazy? I, I said, I am not, give me money after you release, okay? I'm not asking you, just release it. So the lobby was so strong. So they made me almost run and, sit there for 2 hours to convince. them, no, there is a merit in the film. Please try it, release it, and give me a good release. So finally, I managed to convince UTV because I was looking for a good release. I never wanted to compromise on that at all. So luckily, UTV did a good job on the whole marketing and promotion and the release. But the time slot I got was like, people don't release film during Shraddh somehow. Okay, so I said no. I think it's a blessing of elders. So just do it. I gave them go ahead to release during Shraddh. Okay, that was one taboo which I tried to cross that there. And then Dawn 2 was going on theaters that time, and I said, "Koi baat nahi, jane do." So I took all those kind of risk and
So
all
it was
that.
released during
Yeah,
Shraddh.
yeah. And then within 1 day of 100 prints, it has gone down up to 1,000 prints in 2 days. That point of time, and as per Forbes research, I read it somewhere, it's the most profitable venture of Bollywood per seat collection wise, business wise. So yeah, so then I think people really loved the film. I never ever myself seen. I went to various theaters to watch the film with crowd. People was laughing and clapping, and I used to tell Jaideep and Divakar, why they laughing, why they clapping here? माता जी नमस्ते कर रही तो भी लोग हंस रहे थे. तो हमें समझ नहीं आ रहा था कि लोग किस पॉइंट पे क्यों ऐसे रिएक्ट कर रहे हैं. That was also learning for us, you know. So yeah, but it was a happy feeling also at the end of the day. But you'll be surprised, this film has done maximum collection in South. I was
Really?
told earlier that ये तो सिर्फ दिल्ली की और NCR की फिल्म है, okay, but maximum collection came from Hyderabad. So we hardly know what sells actually as producers or even industry for that matter. So then we had to make this film in Telugu and Tamil also and Kannada.
That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and this is still a profitable venture till today.
Absolutely, and I think I've seen this movie at least 3 4 times, and I do think that each and every gesture was so perfect in its timing. Every word, I can really imagine the audience laughing. You know, another thing when you were saying that the songs and all were not the typical commercial,
Yeah,
Hindi
Chak De
movie.
Fatte after that became like a peppy number, which is more like a
Exactly.
dancing number on charts till today. But it was still, there was no babe dancing on so this was not like an item number kind of a thing for them, right? But still, it was without item number, it was item
Yes, the soundtrack was actually very good, but not done in the commercial, conventional way
way.
that.
Yeah.
So, would you say that your movie actually straddled the two genres, one of the art realist cinema and the commercial cinema, and
I don't think it was anything new we have done, because in the past also, if you see films like, as I said, Rajnigandha, Chupke Chupke, or even Choti Si Baat, or those kind of films were very real. Okay, that point of time also, and and people still love those films, right? Amol Palekar's films most of the time, and they're not art films. No, they are very much commercial films. Okay, they made money on on theaters. And how we define, because there are no big actors, so it is not a commercial film. No, if it has, for me, from my background of advertising and marketing, what we learned and what we did for brands is that how to make brand. Okay, so for me, Khosla was a brand. For me, Khosla was a brand of middle class representation. For me, of course, if I'm making a film, the content has to have a low cost and high profit for the industry. Then only you become industry, right? If you just spend more first with big daddies and all that, and then you don't make that kind of money, then you're not a industry, and you're not in business. So the idea was like, if Tata can launch a nano car and make it success, we have to make a nano film and make it success.
You had a relatively new cast of actors.
Yes, and it was very difficult to get Baman convinced for the film. He said three times no. How can you think of me as a Punjabi character? I don't even speak Hindi. I am Parsi. What do you guys think? That every night my director used to talk to him for 1 hour at around 11 o'clock at night, and we used to send him the video clippings which we shot, hidden videos we made out of property dealers, how they scratch their balls and how they get up out of car and how Jai Mata Di happens, and most of the jargons they do use, to for him to understand the character well. So
And that
that's.
has become one of his most memorable
You won't believe,
roles.
before this, we also were thinking of Rishi sir for the film, okay?
Okay.
And we narrated to him, and he loved the film very much. He so used to tell me, Savita, I want to do the film. My only concern was that, because he was a star, so he has a fees attached, which I was not ready to. I mean, my film could not afford it with the budget I was working. So I promised him, sir, if I'll do it again, and I'll definitely come back to you with bigger budgets. So he called me even after the release. He said, "Kya film banai hai? Even if I'm not there, I'm still happy for you." But I told him, "No, sir, I have to do part two with you." But then he's gone so early.
I know.
Yeah.
So, are we looking at a part two?
Yes, now I can say that.
Wow, really?
Yes.
So, when are we going to see it in the cinema halls?
I think it's the right time has come. So maybe in a year.
That is absolutely wonderful news.
Don't make it a news. I take more time generally to release my films. I hope this time it happens as per clients.
So moving on from Khosla Ka Ghosla, and we are absolutely avidly now waiting for the next part to come. I'm a complete fan. But moving on from here, if we go to the next major movie like Jhund, which came out in 2022, and there was a long gap, but I'm sure you were involved in various other projects at that time, and one of the interesting ones was the international T20 cricket for the blind.
Yeah.
Could you tell us something about that and other projects that you were
See,
involved in?
if you're talking about the gap, is basically for two reasons. I did try to, again develop more projects, and I still was fighting even after success of Khosla. The industry gave me Path Picking Cinema Award. After making me struggle for 2 years, but I'm not blaming them. It's just that how it used to work. Okay, so then national award, and then many more awards came in followed after that. But believe you me, after that also they were not ready to invest in content cinema. Okay, and I was not ready to change my track. Okay, so from 2015-16 onwards, more studios came up. I came back to my advertising business, and I made. We created this with the Blind Association, T20 World Cup Blind. We were involved in, and Prime Minister tweeted our even the anthem which we created and all that, which was very well appreciated, and many more things happened. But at the same time, after 2015, I saw the new zone of films again coming as a content, like Ayushman Khurrana ke baad, when he came and Rajkumar Rao came. So then it was the right time for me to again jump into the pool. And by then, my kids were also grown, to be very honest, and they were on their own. So I thought probably this is the time back to go back and do things what I always loved to do. So the Jhund happened after that, and we bought rights in 2016-17 from there is a professor Vijay Barse in Nagpur. After retirement, he created a team of slum kids. Okay, he converted those slum drug addict kids to sports, players, and he was a sports teacher, and he made them play football. And the team today goes to play homeless soccer from India. Okay, and that was very exciting for me to make it a film. So that's how we picked up those rights, and then we narrated to Mr. Bachchan and Nagaraj Manjule, who was, I mean, we all know Sairat was also big hit, and this story was very much needed, that kind of director, because he worked with slums kids before also, and he also understands Marathi because this team is from Nagpur, right? And the professor is from Nagpur. So we pitched him the concept, and he agreed. He came on board, and then Mr. Bachchan came on board, and the project happened. And because of COVID again, my film got delayed for 2 years. And because just in 2019 we released the 2020 January we released the first teaser of Jhund, and then the COVID happened. So then 22 is where we got the slot. And we were the first film after COVID, full-fledged film to get released in theatre. We haven't got too much of collection, but we made a decent collection after seeing what happened to other films. But we had a very, very good commercials working with Z5 on that. But we
And
were not in losses.
okay, but it was not like so big as Khosla Ka Ghosla was.
Yeah, I still love the film. You know, if you tell today, I don't know, I to just have made two films, but it was, I think, to me, very satisfying project to work on.
So, how did you manage to get Amitabh Bachchan into this Big B, the star of the Indian?
Yeah, it's very strange. Actually, I was telling him in 2000, no, not 2000, 1996, when he opened his ABCL. He came to Bombay Art Club, okay, where I received award from him, and I showed him the picture. That, that's where we met first. I told showed him. He gave me award for population control campaign which we did for public service. And there I was telling him, and see there, he said, I have changed, you haven't changed. I said, because I was fat that time also, but you, he said, you made me like a grandfather in this film. I said, yeah, but that's how it is. Yes, to get him, I think he's a thorough professional guy, and he knows what subject he wants to work on and what kind of films he wants to do today. So he loved the subject, he loved the team, and because Nagraj and our background, probably he must be impressed with our story also. That was very important for him, and it worked.
So, as against Khosla Ka Ghosla, this time you picked up another very distinct group, and you picked up the dwellers,
Yeah, we picked up children from the
and
streets and trained them to act and play football at the same time. We actually picked the street kids.
oh, I see.
Yes.
Okay.
And they were with my director for 1 year. We gave them a home, shelter, everything, and director was training them to play football and act at the same time.
When I watched this movie, I found it extremely poignant, very real. And the last scene, particularly when Ankush is, we are all literally holding our breath as to whether he's going to get through the security. And he gets, and then he literally breaks down and he starts crying. I actually had tears in my eyes also, and I was wondering, as compared to other
You
movies.
won't believe that kid when we picked up that kid, and my director told him that you come to me, I'll train you, and this is what you have to do. And he was into a lot of wrong stuff he was taking, and one condition my director told everyone, that don't tell your parents where are you. I mean, you just tell them we are going somewhere. Okay. And now this guy, now we were shooting in Nagpur, and this guy is from Nagpur, and we are shooting there, and he's not going back home. And one day he went on weekend when we got on, and the father really beats him up. That where are you going? He's not telling because director has told him not to tell. What is he doing? So then he told director that yesterday my father really, he showed all the rashes on his thing. He said, "Don't call your father, father." So we called his father, and his father was literally in tears that you guys have really doing so much with my kid, which I could never imagine. So after that, we actually called every parent Even within the film, also many parents are acting.
I see.
That is the honesty of that film.
And it actually came through the film that complete, there was this
I don't think you
authenticity
can
and
ignore
real.
that film. Once you see the
No.
film, it will stay with you forever because this is unique. Again, in subject, I think so. So
And
that's
also the way you chose your actors, like you're saying, you actually pick them up from,
see the way they were doing commentary, even in the film, and they're playing football and matches happening and all that. So those were also their own style of talking, and that's how they make talk to each other, the tone, and we allowed them to speak their own language.
actually, if you look at the other movie around, Gully Boy or something, where you have people, no names acting, and when you look at this, there is actually you see a difference between the two of them, and you know that something actually very very different is happening here, which is not happening in the other movie. So yes, I really now I understand because most of the people that you took, so many of them were right there. They were part of the experience and acting.
So I mean, film is experience with the more closer your lens is about others' life, and that is what people want to know, and people are interested in. If you keep it distanced from reality, I don't think you reach or touch the heart.
Both your projects have been so much into the idea of social change or picking up a social problem and trying to get it across to the public. I think that is very appreciable, and I think it's something that we desperately need today for cinema to actually also look at social change, the idea of making of an India, of making of a new India. What are your thoughts? Do you do it consciously, or is it just, you know? Uh,
See, I think cinema has to speak common man's language. That's it. I'm not trying to make extra effort to go and make it very, sad atmosphere is not there. It's just that even in Khosla also that, जो हम करना चाहते हैं ना, we want to see that how we win. We have seen many. So whatever happens in the second half, the way they take the land back, and the way they cheat Khurana and all that is very difficult for people to do it. Okay, it's very unreal for them, but it gives them a courage that someone can has done it. I can also do it some way. I can you do it, right? So that is what is Khosla's winning point is basically. You all have to understand what they want. They wanted to someone to come and show the heroism within middle class. Okay, by obviously they can't show off the heroism, but they can do it differently. The hero, so that was the point. So the point is that हम सब ने life देखी है, हम सब ने अपने experiences किए हैं, right? I mean, I'm doing another film called Kabutri.
okay.
Again, that's again a very very close um, glance to the girl. कबूतर उड़ जाते हैं पंजाब में, कबूतरियाँ रह जाती हैं, right? So what happens to kabutaris there, right? So it's again going very close to their mindset. And today they are not becharis. They are the one who are going to rule Punjab because कबूतर तो चले जाएंगे ना, आज नहीं तो 5 साल बाद और चले जाएंगे. So I
Yeah.
want them to enjoy it and cheer up. If they are not there, it's good. Enjoy the life. So kabutaris will happen. So I'm saying kabutaris will rule. I mean, so I'm saying it's just that take on. I can make serious film also out of it and all that. So I just don't want. I want people to cheer up on life, and whichever situation they are in. That's what even Jhund was. End of the day, there was like, the mission was there, and they were happy. End of the day, even everyone has a right to be happy. So in Khosla, the middle class has to be. Without middle class happiness, the country can't even. Nobody can grow. The nation can grow. So I just wanted to give hope to them. Obviously, it just became. You won't believe. I got 1 lakh emails. There was a show on CNBC about those emails where people started writing to us about their problem on properties. So we sent all the emails to the Ministry of Urban Development, okay? And we told them, and we raised a question in Parliament why these lands are not going digital. Okay, today, as per legally, by 2024, a whole land is available, all information on call, whether it's a fraud or who owns it, original owner, so you feel good about it.
Um, that's what I've been wanting to ask you is how do you feel? You know, you have achieved so much, and
No,
and you know, and being a woman, that's my question. You are in a male-dominated industry.
the problem or solution is that my male is not dominating me. So he's giving me more rights than what I needed, also, probably. So I was lucky, I can say that. Second is that I was, because otherwise there was no way I could have stayed or even imagined to be controlled by anyone. So I am definitely, it's not that now I don't listen to others or anything, but I like to play a equal game somehow in this world. So I don't want anything bichara woman also about myself, but I know how to use my rights and I respect other gender also equally.
One more question. I was wondering when you have given the film to the director, how much of your own interpretation, your own inputs, do you creatively go into the process? Uh,
You go to the get into the process in as much detailing as when you create a map of your building. Okay, what happened, where, which scene, even in Khosla, each scene was drawn and given to me. Okay, because I never gone up even 1 rupee from my budgets in both the films,
oh,
not even 1 rupee, because I want to make sure that whatever you want to do it on the paper first, because industry has a habit of try, hit and try कि आप इतने ही खर्चे करके ऊपर इतना बजट के ऊपर ट्राई नहीं कर सकते, because then you are eating out on profit only from very first day. So it's like when you give a car to your driver, then you can't tell him how to drive, right? It's as simple as that. So you can't just stop him in the middle and when he's going in the 70 speed कि नहीं तुम ठीक नहीं चला रहे हो ना, right? So you have to be clear when you are giving the project, to whom you're giving the project and what he's going to do. You spend years and years in preparation just because that you don't want to stop while driving. But ultimately he's going to drive the show.
so I mean, coming back to Jhund, supposing like, did you think about it that why didn't it really get the kind of commercial success?
Yeah, of course, we know that. Because I tell you, what happened is that COVID got over just, in February, March only, when everything actually opened fully. But people were not ready to go out that much. So we got into the trap of that week, like that. So, and Kashmir files came in this middle with us. Okay, so that Kashmir file had a lot of political, whatever support as well, and it worked. I also like the film. I'm not saying it, but we had a good competition at the same time, and my director was known more in Maharashtra, right? He had a major, fan following there. But now we are getting so much of appreciation. Even China is looking at a film to get released. Japan is going to releasing now. So I'm sure it will get its due credit. And
Yes, as you mentioned OTT, what is your take on it? Would you like to be making a series or coming on to OTT? What is your take on it?
Yes, if I want to get into OTT, definitely yes, but I'm not kind of, I can't mix things like Wasapur, Gang of Wasapur, or anything. My content is going to be very soft for a more meaningful or different. I like Panchayat. those kind of things on OTT. So yes, we are already pitching for some OTT content already.
So I would want to ask you, what are your future projects?
About my future projects, definitely, as I mentioned, Ghosla Part 2, and I am trying to make. I'm working on a project called Kalpana Chawla Mapping, right? So, and probably Jhund to also happen soon. Okay, we're working on the story right now. So, at Kabutri also is one of them. Okay. So these are few projects which I already mentioned directly, indirectly in my previous questions answers.
Just a few more words on Chaibrary. What do you think of Chaibrary?
What I think of Chaibrary is that it's really interesting. As you know, now the promoter of Chaibrary also has, I have worked with. I was lucky enough, okay, and I feel so good that even people I worked with had vision beyond just working in advertising and stuff like that. So we all are growing together. Okay, that is a satisfactory part I get. I really feel amazing when my colleagues in advertising, they just grow beyond and they take chances. They want to become, and they have a formula and they know how to achieve that formula and be unique. So I think this is one of the very amazing effort, and I love the name, the Chai Berry. I'm waiting for my chai now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was an absolute privilege having you with us. And we are absolutely, completely overwhelmed. And thank you for being with us again.
Call me whenever you want me to come again, and so that you get used to me more.
We would love that. With that, we come to the end of this edition of Chaibrary. Do like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Do press the bell icon for latest updates. Do follow us on our social media. Thank you very, very much for being with us. Thank you, and bye bye till next time.